Welcome, everybody. This is Johnny B once again. This one, I'm going to talk about what the world's best did wrong. I guarantee you there's not going to be the world's best two. Okay? It was so bad. One, let's go over the first thing they did wrong. One, they put it on a half a season. They only had an hour time slot. Okay? And it was rushed. It felt like it was rushed. I remember where they ended a performance. I think it was like maybe they ended the TNT boys, and then the next hour it was like, ta-da! They're in the finals, and they lose. It was like, what happened there? It's like it was not. It was like they just jammed everything into 4 weeks. It was terrible, or however many weeks, but it was a half a season for sure. Okay, so they didn't even give it a full like 16 weeks or. They didn't do that. Okay, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Two, they cared more about the money than they did about how they would be perceived or looked. I don't think they thought it through. In other words, you're going to try to have adults compete against children. Look at what happened with Naturally 7 winning against TNT boys. Naturally 7 was in a no-win situation. And you know when Naturally 7 found out? That day. How do we know about that? Daniela tells everyone, Dimash and I didn't even know we were competing against each other until that day. We're not allowed to talk about it, nothing. We didn't even know we were in the same competition. So they put Dimash in that situation. It's like, hi, buddy, how are you? And now I'm going to stab you in the back. You know how bad the United States media is. You know darn well they would have tried to crucify the guy. For what? He didn't do anything wrong. But if he would have beaten those kids, and most likely he would have beaten those kids, everyone knows that Mark Burnett knew about Dimash. My guess is he watched I Am Singer. He watched the explosion on YouTube, and he said he wanted a piece of that action. And he based the entire show around that guy. And that guy had enough balls to say, you're not going to put me in this situation. No. I'll use you, though. I'll sing on my last day, and then I'll bow out. In other words, I will do the third performance, and then I'll bow out. Okay? But he did the right thing. He did the right thing. Now, it pissed off the judges, especially RuPaul and Faith. Faith is like, this isn't a free stage. This is a competition. He's like, yeah, it's a free stage. You chop up my performance. You put me in a situation where I'm going to look bad against a bunch of kids. Come on. Come on. He has a heck of a lot more integrity than that. Okay? So, they did everything wrong. Chopping up those songs was just, you take out the heart of the song when you take a 5-minute song and you chop it into a minute and a half. They cared more about the judges' reactions than the actual performance. The performance or the performer. Okay. They tried to take highlights of Dimash's song Adagio, but I know that song, and I said, oh my God, you just chopped the living hell out of that song. Okay? You chopped it. You took the whole essence of it out of there. A lot of Americans, I'm American, but the last 8 years, most of you know, I have lived overseas. I spent 6 years in Indonesia, and I spent 2 years in the Netherlands. Okay, I spent 2 years in Europe. Most Americans, they have this belief, because we have the biggest economy in the world and we're American, that if it isn't recognized by America, how good is it? There's a certain reality to that, but there's a certain arrogance to that as well. He should have never been in that competition. Okay. I don't believe Dimash would have entered that competition knowing that his songs would have been chopped up all to hell, and that he would have been competing against kids, and they wouldn't let him perform his songs the way he wanted. So all they did was shoot themselves in the foot for next year, because there's not going to be a next year. When the two best performing acts get knocked out, one voluntarily and one by the adults, and the two best acts being Dimash and the TNT Boys, you're done. You're done. That rumor is going to be spreading around like wildfire. It was not well perceived, even among Americans. I'd say, hey, did you see the show The World's Best? What? The what world? Yeah. Did you see it? No. Nobody saw the show. Nobody gave a damn about the show. Okay? So I'm telling you, this is what happens when greed supersedes ethics and morals. And a lot of Americans are lacking this nowadays. And that's why it's so good to see somebody that has that in spades in Dimash. In spades. It's not about the money. He'll get it. Like I said, you love what you do, the money will come. It'll come. He was raised right. Ethics, morals, standards. A lot of things that aren't done in American society nowadays. Now they care about ninth place trophies. Now they care about boys dressing like girls. Just stupid shit, yeah? And everyone crying and complaining and using identity politics and crap like that, okay? They've lost the focus. America used to be like that. America used to be where we would not have put somebody in a position to fail like that. Family values, ethics, standards. But this little shit show is a representation of the me society that's going on in America right now. And I'm glad, to be honest, the show blew up in his face. I don't know about you guys, but as soon as Dimash walked off the stage, I took my remote control and I went, thoop. I flipped off the TV. I turned it on just before. I turned it on at Lydian. No, that's when I got home, actually. So, turned it on. Got to watch a little bit of that. And then Dimash. And I saw the whole Dimash thing. That's what I really wanted to see. Once I saw Dimash, I was done. The show was 100% about Dimash. No Dimash, I would have never watched the show to begin with. That's a fact. I would have never watched the show to begin with. I rarely watch TV. Okay? And I think many of you are in the same boat as me. So, Mark Burnett and his greed to try to use Dimash is the demise of, and his, I bet you that show lost money. Okay? All right? But whether it lost money or not, doesn't matter. But a lot of people lost a lot of respect for RuPaul and Faith Hill. I'm glad that the third judge just shut her mouth. Okay, she's been Drew Barrymore kind of shut her mouth. Okay, but she was not happy either. And part of it is I think that they get put in an uncomfortable situation because they're now in the spotlight as the judges. Okay? And all of a sudden people are wanting to quit on them, and everybody knows. Everybody knew that the show was about Dimash. And now the star is going to quit. And RuPaul said something that was completely wrong. Now that further information has come out, RuPaul said, you knew the rules. He knew the rules, but he didn't know what you were doing, the standards behind it. He knew the rules, but knowing the rules doesn't mean that you couldn't be sneaky by putting children to compete against him. That's sneaky. I mean, he could put up with the fact that you're chopping songs and then you're taking away songs, but now you're going to put him in a bad light there? Please. Please. He doesn't need that crap. We'll see him on the stage. We'll see him perform. Americans will continue to get to recognize him. And as he starts to, his first one is going to be, I believe, in Moscow. He's going to have a wonderful performance in Moscow. Then in October, he's going to be singing at Igor Krutoy's concert. And there's a rumor that while he's there in New York, they're trying to set up another concert. If there is another concert, I guarantee you that concert will be sold out. Sold out. Peace, everybody. You have a wonderful Thursday. Peace out.